Horns were black and shiny, and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the skies, 'cause he saw the riders running hard and heard their mournful cries. Yippee-yi-yay! Yippee-yi-yo! Ghost riders in the sky. All right, how's that? I'm trying to like not get the top of the screen in there. Hi, Sarah. I'm just getting my phone set up, but you are the first in line. All right. I really need to buy myself another one of those phone holders. There we go. We are good. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to do some medicine card readings. So I've already got a couple people. Wow, people are coming on. We got Sarah and Carolyn. Hi, Carolyn. And let's see. Roulette and Joe. Good to have you guys back. And Sage. Hi, Sage. I've missed you. Awesome. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see. I'm going to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. Oh, Anna. I almost missed. All right. That's our 6. Woohoo! All right. So, welcome, and for the benefit of those who come in late, or actually the people that might watch this in repeat, let's see, whoops, let me get back. Oh, you're working a lot on Monday nights, Sage? Glad to have you back. So, for the sake of those who may be new or may be watching this on repeat, the way this works is for the first six people who say yes in the comments, which we already have our 6, they get a 1-card medicine card reading. But if you were not one of those first 6, don't worry, don't fret. All you need to do then is choose a number between 1 and 6. Oh, thanks for that. It's from my office. Since I had to take it down to my office, I love it too much to not use it. So I thought I would change the scenery. So now we're in the deep woods. This is my own little sliver of Sherwood. So so if you are not one of the first 6, just choose a number between 1 and 6, and then when that card comes up, just pay attention as if it were meant for you, okay? Because you are actively creating your own reality. And so if you are listening to a card, you choose a card and you're listening to it, you are the center of your universe, right? And so that card is for you, even though it may, supposedly be for someone else. You are the star of your own show, and everyone else is a bit player, right? Supporting actors. And so even though it may be for someone else, I promise you that the wisdom, the knowledge, the little information that you might need will be supplied by that same card, okay? So I'm trying to do this so that you can't see the top of the curtain. It would help if I had an actual phone holder thingy-mabob. Technical difficulties, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, let's see here. You're so professional here at Perching Wolf Studios. All right, how's that? There we go, cool. All right, so, wow, we got 10 people on. Yay, thank you everyone for joining me. If you don't know me, again, I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And we're going to pull some cards. And my only favor I ask, my only boon, is if you would please share this video. You share it out to friends or on your own page, or you can tag someone in the comments. But that helps me get my voice out there, create a wider base of clientele so that my work gets supported, so I continue to do my work, so that I have the experience and everything to be able to help you support your path. So anyway, and for that, thank you so very much. And if you enjoy my work, if you get something from this and you wish to reciprocate, I have my PayPal and my Venmo pinned to the top of the comments, and I'm oh so grateful for anything you wish to give to support my work. I really, really appreciate it. Alrighty. I was just talking to a friend over the weekend yesterday. I was at a friend's house for my birthday, and she was saying, you need to make people realize, make sure people know that this is what you do. This is not just a side thing. This is your living. This is your day job. And not just, this isn't just goofing around. And when you give me money, it's not just going to like, woohoo, whatever. That it goes toward groceries, it goes toward rent, it goes toward new books, new things to experience, so that I have a wider base of experience with which to uplift you. So, and that is my greatest joy. I love my job. So thank you for being present, and let's go ahead and start. Thank you for that. Sarah, you are card number 1. All right. Card number 1 for Sarah is Snake. Snake is about transmutation. You know, there's the fact that, you know, the whole snake shedding the skin analogy, right? It's like, it feels like things are falling apart. You know, and I'm going through this myself right now, like big time. But it's like, every time it feels like you're just a little bit more stable, something else gets yanked out from under your feet. And so you're having to rebalance and redistribute your weight and all of that kind of thing. And that is actually on purpose. The thing with Snake, so what is happening? Okay, your world is not falling apart. Your world is falling into place. And all those things that used to suit you, that used to support you, that used to keep you safe, you have burst out of that. You've outgrown your old reality, okay? And so that old stuff that used to keep you safe no longer fits. It no longer, you can't fit in there. And so one thing I like to point out is that, you know, if the snake weren't growing, the skin wouldn't shed, right? The skin wouldn't dry out and peel off. But it's the fact that the snake is growing that makes that old skin shred. So if your life is falling apart, if old things are falling apart, if you're losing people, losing situations, things are just wonky, know that those things would not be leaving, those things would not be shooken up unless there is something bigger and better coming into your life, okay? If your life is falling apart, it is proof that things are changing, that things are improving. And I know that seems kind of counterintuitive. But one of the reasons it has to get shaken up and uncomfortable is because, like, when the snake is shedding its skin, I'm sure it's like itchy as heck, right? Itchy and uncomfortable. Things are moving around. Things are peeling off. You know, like when you get dry skin that's peeling off and you just want to pick it or rub it on something. That's the point. When the snake is shedding its skin, it's got all this dry skin just hanging on it. It's forcing it to kind of move around a little more. It's forcing it to rub against trees and rocks to help get that skin off. So the discomfort right now is actually serving a purpose as well. So as best you can, this isn't an easy thing, but it's doable, right? It's being comfortable with the discomfort. For me, when I know that there's a purpose to something, it makes it a little easier to flow with it, right? It's kind of like, I do a lot of animal communication as well. And one of the things that I've learned with animals is that animals don't feel pain the way we do. Animals don't suffer the way we do. When an animal is injured, they experience what they call clean pain rather than dirty pain that we feel. When an animal gets hurt, it just feels the pain. When we get hurt, we feel the pain, and then we throw all these layers of emotion on top of it. Oh my God, what did I do wrong? Why am I being punished? Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. And we dirty the pain with all this crap on top of it. Where was I going with that? And so that's what it was, because when I know there's purpose behind change, that like takes that dirty pain part away, and then I can just experience it, right? And the thing is, when old feelings, when old issues, when old triggers come up, the best way to release those, the best way to find relief from those is to feel them, okay? So the more you can just be present, and just know that things are gonna get better. Oh, I'm so glad that made sense, Sarah.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I wasn't talking to you, Alexis. Good. You know, so it's, and the other thing, when Snake, a lot of people don't realize this, when Snake is shedding his skin, his eyes are part of the skin that he is shedding. So when that skin comes loose and it's just shaking around and rattling around, Snake is literally blind and cannot see in front of him, right? Of course, they don't rely on their sight as much as we do, but it's like Snake is literally in the dark when that skin is coming loose. And most snakes, when they shed their skin, they pull out of it backwards. So their eyes are the last part to come free from it. And so, again, there is purpose to not knowing where you're going. There is purpose to not having a plan, okay? So it's like, allow yourself to rest in that darkness and that unknowing, that uncertainty. Because when it's dark, when there's no clear path ahead of you, it's time to rest, okay? You still have, I know you still have responsibilities, you still have things you need to do, you know, but, you know, it's like do the minimum, do just, you don't have to exhaust yourself trying to do your normal 100%. Do 80%, do 50%, do 10% if that's all you can do at the moment. Okay? This is a time of healing. It's a time of resting. And, of course, our medical system doesn't recognize that, but it is a time of deep healing. And so treat yourself that way. Nurture yourself. Do the things, it's like you're all itchy and stuff. Go take a bath, right? Another thing that just came to me too is that, like, when I'm doing these readings, I don't know how many of you realize this or on what level. This is not like a tarot reading where it's like, okay, the Fool showed up, it means this, and oh, the Magician showed up, that means this. These are, when I pull the cards, this is the jumping off point. I'm not just talking symbolically. When the card comes up, I'm opening that channel to the snake spirit to ask, what is the message this person needs? And so when we're done here, when this video is over, snake is still there, or whatever animal, if you have a card, whatever animal comes up for you, that animal is still there for you to ask for help. Okay, so like throughout your week, when things are getting too overwhelming, too rough, whatever, call on snake to help you feel a little more comfortable in your own skin, right? Another aspect of that whole skin shedding thing is that, like when you have a cut and it scabs over and then the scab pulls off, it's like that skin underneath is still tender and soft and new and sensitive. So part of the discomfort may also be because you've got this brand new covering of skin that hasn't quite, I'll never know what the word is. I want to say congealed, but that's not the right word. But it hasn't totally solidified yet. It's not totally, it's still, wet and soft and tender. So it's like, be gracious with yourself. Give yourself the grace to know, oh, I'm growing. Oh, that was uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to back off a little bit. Or, just know, oh, that's right, I'm still growing. So I'm going to just let myself take it slow. Okay? I like, there are so many, snake is such a complex totem. I mean, they all are. But the other thing, okay, I'm going to say it, because if you watched me before, I tend to be a little verbose. I tend to probably over-explain things. But another aspect of snake medicine that may be either you or someone else who's watching this later that chose card number 1, I mentioned transmutation, right? And snake is a very fiery creature. They mostly live in the heat, in the desert, in the dry environments. And so that fire of transformation, and they're venomous, right? There's that fire element again. And how do I put this succinctly? The antidote to the snake's venom, the seed of the antidote to the snake's venom is the venom. It's that homeopathy kind of thing where it's like the seed of whatever the illness is, or the seed is actually where the antidote gets its power. So it's like changing things from a wound to a blessing. And so during this downtime, when you're trying to take it easier, when you're in the dark, when you're resting, it's a great time to kind of, muse back on your past and look at things from a different perspective, and to forgive yourself for wherever there is regret, wherever there is shame. Forgive yourself for those things, right? When we hold on to that trauma or that shame or the guilt or whatever it is, victimhood, it just, all it does is keeps this open wound, right? This open pit that, as soon as you get triggered by that same thing, it's like you fall back into that pit, right? It's just this ever existing fiery pit that you fall into. But if you can look back on your past, you don't have to do your whole past, but maybe like the last year or so, and just, look at the winding road, the ups and the downs of your path. And in those places where there are the dips, where there's the divots, forgive yourself. Know that, again, right now things are falling apart because you're growing, right? And every place where there's a divot was the same thing, but you didn't know what you know now. And so instead of keeping moving forward, it just kind of got you in this loop and opened this wound that hasn't closed up yet. And so if you can forgive yourself for feeling shame, forgive yourself for feeling less than whole. There's this beautiful song that's been coming up in my head lately. It's like, if I can remember it. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Every point where you feel shame, where you feel less than, where you feel disempowered, where you feel victimized, even in those moments, you were whole. And if you can look back and see the wholeness, see those things as an experience, as a learning, then that's how you heal those wounds so you don't fall back into them. And so it's like being able to stand on the shoulders of what some people might call mistakes or failures, but you actually get your strength from those places that used to be your downfalls. Okay. I hope that makes more sense. I hope that makes sense. I mean, I could go on and on and on about that. But if you want some more pointers, feel free to email me or message me or anything. I'd be glad to help steer you a little bit if that would be helpful. But I actually have this meditation I learned from Sarah Ingerman about standing on this hill, looking back at your past, like the past year. And it's like breathing through your heart, and like as you exhale, you send all these bubbles out from your heart, and you just send them out over this path of the past year. And as these bubbles go over the path, they soak up any pain, any guilt, any unwanted feelings, etc., and they float away, leaving just the solid ground, so that it takes the emotional dig out of it, so that you can look at it logically and say, oh yeah, that wasn't fun, that wasn't optimal, but look what I learned from it. Look how I've grown from it. Look at the skin I shed from that. Okay? So, there you go. I hope that is helpful. All right, card number 2. Carolyn. In fact, that like one of my main affirmations that I repeat to myself all the time is, even in this moment, I am whole. It's kind of like that, this too shall pass. It's like, even if you're happy, it's like, even in this moment, I am whole. Even if you're sad, even if you're in pain, even if you're, feel like you just crawled out of the bowels of the earth or something. It's like, even in this moment, I am whole. Because you are always whole. Shamanic healing is based on the fact that you are always whole. There comes an appearance of pain, of sickness, of illness, of disease, or whatever, and a belief in that being less than, but that never changes the existence of your wholeness. And so all of shamanic healing is really based around helping the person remember wholeness. It's not about fixing. It's not about instilling something else to heal. It's about helping that person remember their innate wholeness. All right, Carolyn. Awesome. Getting lots of transformation and changes tonight. Carolyn, card number 2 is butterfly. Butterfly has been really important to me lately. Actually, it's funny because these cards, there's only, what is it? I don't remember how many cards are in the deck, but this is a fraction of, the animal species on the planet, right? And so sometimes the animals on these cards kind of lead to another animal that's not. And because I'm actually talking about it, I think that is the case here. That it's not so much butterfly medicine as moth medicine. Butterflies are sunlight and daytime and color, and moths tend to be, they're nighttime. They tend to be camouflage. But an interesting difference between butterflies and moths is that when butterflies sit at rest, their wings are folded. When moths are at rest, their wings are flat. And so there's like this openness, like, almost a vulnerability that, whenever we talk about open wings, to me, it always talks to open-heartedness, because when you spread your wings, when you spread your arms, you're opening that heart, right? And I also heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that your hands, when you're a fetus, your hands grow directly out of your heart. And that's why our hands are so healing, because they are intimately connected to your heart. So when we're in pain or something, we put our hands all over wherever it hurts, or someone else is in pain, we put our hands on them, because that's how we reach out with our hearts. So there's this openness, and it can be interpreted. I know you do a lot of goddess art, and it's like, in a way, Butterfly is the divine masculine, and moth is the divine feminine, because she lives at nighttime. She lives by the light of the moon, right? Mysterious and you know, and again, this is a generalization. It's like there are moths that that fly during the day, and there are, you know, but for the most part, moths are a little more drab. But again, like, so sometimes I say things, and I don't have documentation. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but sometimes I say things, it's like my guides tell me to say things that I'm not really positive that this is true. But I think if you were to look at moths under a black light, or that, you know, if you've ever seen the way, like, you can, if you Google how do flowers look to insects, and like to us it's like, oh, that's a pretty color, or oh, that one doesn't even look very good. To the eye of the insect, they glow. They're not effervescent, but they're neon, right? And I think the same is true. I keep seeing this moth. It's all gray, kind of white and gray, and with black speckles on it. But then I see like the little scales on the wings kind of opening up, and like this little like neon colors underneath it. And so it's like that inner beauty. And so, okay, this is a little bit different from normal, because it feels like I need to share part of my own personal path with moth. And it's like, because I've been working intimately with her, and when she first came to me, it was like back around Christmas last year, and she kind of appeared to me, and it's like beautiful wings, right, with these different patterns on it, and all of a sudden, you know, and so on one level it's about camouflage, it's about blending in, and at the same time, this is the secret to moth. It's looking beyond the appearance of the wings that are just random patterns. It's like those wings, the patterns on the wings, though they blend in to the things around them, if you go further into them, they are portals into another world. And so it's like, those who don't have the eyes to see that, just either see the moth and, oh, cool, it blends in, or they don't even see the moth because it blends in. But if you have the eyes to see it, the heart to see it, the patterns actually, it's kind of like scrying, right? And it's like the patterns will draw you in. And it's like almost like those 3D images they used to do with the different patterns, and you had to look at it and kind of look beyond them in order to see this three-dimensional image. It's kind of like that. So it's like looking at everything like things may seem to be normal, and you could just go through your life just same old routine, but there's portals all around you if you look for them into that deeper feminine mystery and magic. What else? Ha! And my guides, And if you think about, if you've ever held a moth or a butterfly, you know that like they get that pixie dust, right? I mean, it's magic. It's like Tinkerbell. There is magic in the air. And it's kind of like that whole thing about, if you have the eyes to see, if you're true of heart, like in The Last Unicorn, if you're true of heart, you'll see the horn. But if you're not, you'll just see a horse. And so it's like there's something deeper beckoning to you, looking deeper into your heart than you have before, to the real mystery. And connecting with Grandmother Moon, right? And that, I'm sitting here starting to sway, like, that primal Gaia wisdom. Of course, there's the whole caterpillar thing, right? When butterfly comes up or moth comes up, we tend to talk about the butterfly or the moth, and no one ever talks about the caterpillar. But the caterpillar is so important. If you don't have a healthy caterpillar, you're not going to have a healthy moth, right? And so we kind of skip ahead, but we don't think about all of the experience that the caterpillar has garnered, all of the things the caterpillar did to stay healthy and strong, and then the courage of the caterpillar to enter into the cocoon and to literally die, to sacrifice itself, to be totally rewritten from the DNA up into a whole new creature, right? And so there's a lot of it that's very similar to snake that we were just talking about. But like when caterpillar goes into that cocoon, it doesn't just sprout wings. It breaks down into genetic goop. And then the DNA gets rearranged, recalibrated, rebuilt from the ground up into a whole new being. And so that is what is going on right now for you, I believe. I'm not sure what stage you're in. I think if you're not already out of the cocoon, I think it's soon, by the fact that she came up right side up. But again, so what I was saying about snake and forgiving your past, right? Butterfly doesn't like, oh, that stupid caterpillar, why did it eat all of this? And now I'm sick to my stomach, blah, 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 or whatever, right? It's like everything that the caterpillar experienced goes into the butterfly. And so there were no mistakes. There were no accidents. Everything happened the way they needed to happen for this moth or butterfly to emerge. I'm not sure that's exactly what I was trying to say. Sometimes hard to be articulate on the spur of the moment. Oh, good. I'm glad, Carolyn. And there can be a tendency to say, why didn't I do this sooner? Or why, God, if I hadn't done that thing back then, I would have been here already. And it's like, no. Everything is exactly in perfect timing. If it were ready, if it was time for you to come out of the cocoon years ago, it would have happened years ago. But that's the other part of that forgiveness, is trusting the unfolding of your life. Everything in its own cycle. And trusting the process. Again, like with snake. Snake doesn't sit there like, oh, there's that piece of skin right there, I need to release that. Oh, and then there's another one over here, and I need to release that piece of skin. Snake just keeps going, and the skin sheds of its own volition, right? You don't have to pick and choose, and it's like, just keep going forward. Keep going forward. Trust the process of that shedding, that process of emergence is a natural process, like birth, right? It happens of its own volition. There's things you want to do, like in the case of birth, to help it along or to make sure everything is kosher, but, you know, it's a natural process that you can trust. It's like your destiny, and so you can trust the unfoldment. It may not be comfortable, it may hurt, but you can trust that it's unfolding in the perfect way. Awesome. You're cool with the goo. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Holy crap. Okay. I probably need to be a little bit shorter on my answers. We're halfway through and I've only done 2 out of 6 cards, so. All right, card number 3, roulette. And again, if you're coming in late and you didn't you weren't part of the initial 6. That sounds like a club or something. The initial 6. Like the Magnificent 7. The initial 6. If you weren't part of the initial 6 that said yes in the comments, and you came in late, choose a number between 1 and 6. We're now on card number 3. And I promise that your message will be woven in with everything else. So, roulette, you're gonna laugh. Card number 3 is Majestic Darkiness. Moose is about self-esteem. Moose is at the same time one of the most majestic and powerful animals you will ever behold, and the dorkiest animal you will ever see. I did a reading for someone the other day, and Moose came up, and that was all she could think of after that. Like, she actually left the reading talking about majestic darkiness. That is so cool. And she just kept repeating it as she was leaving. I'm just like, it was just funny. But anyway, so it's really about that self-acceptance, like radical self-acceptance, accepting everything about you. You know, like Mr. Rogers said, you're perfect just the way you are. There is nothing wrong with you. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? Even in this moment, you are whole. And in every moment, you are whole. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, you can't be anything but whole. And so by accepting your wholeness and knowing that in this illusion of life in the world, yeah, things appear to get damaged, things appear to get wonky, things feel weird, but that can't change the truth of who you are in your essence. You are a divine being. And so, you know, your physical world, your physical life, your physical body is a reflection of that unique spirit that you are. And so it's accepting, it's like transparency. Like when you're transparent, when you're totally truthful and honest and upfront about things, there's no place for people to get their hooks in. No one can drag you down. No one can get you caught in a scandal, because you're accepting everything about yourself, right? There was this comedian, and I can't remember her name, but she was on Mia Bielik's podcast one time, and she was saying how at one point some gossip rag like the National Enquirer or something was trying to claim her in, like, involve her in some scandal, and she was like, do you not understand that my life is what I do for a living, and that I share everything about my life, so there are no secrets? Have you ever come to one of my shows? I talk about everything. And when you talk about everything and everything is out in the open, there's nothing anyone can do if you're not, again, this kind of fits in with butterfly and snake medicine, in that if you don't feel shame about yourself, if you don't feel guilty about yourself, if you don't feel like you're less than, or you could be better, or you compare yourself to someone else, that's the only place where those hooks can get in. So if you are full of yourself in the best way possible, right? It's like people, and the thing is, when you are like that, people are going to call you arrogant. People are going to call you, stuffy or snooty or all of those things, because they don't experience that. And that has nothing to do with you, right? So let your freak flag fly, right? And know that it's like those things that make you stand out from the crowd are exactly the gifts you came to share in this life. That those are the things that make you unique, right? And it's not that people see you and then want to be exactly like you. It's like the more authentic you are, the more true to yourself that you are, the more you inspire people to be true to themselves. It's like you give permission for other people to be true to themselves. Like, I could sit and listen to someone for hours if they are passionate about something. It doesn't matter what it is. It's the passion that's contagious. And if someone is passionate about something, I don't care what it is, I will sit there and listen for hours, because it sparks the passion in me for the things that I'm passionate about, right? And so don't play small. Don't worry about intimidating people, okay? This is a big thing. When we always think we're too much for people, we shine too brightly, or whatever it is, we have to tone it down so people can handle us. No, don't do that. Shine. Your job is to shine as brightly as you possibly can. If people can't handle it, you're not being intimidating. They are being intimidated. There's a difference. And I realized this a while back. I was thinking about like childhood stuff and growing up. And I always had this feeling there was something wrong with me, because it was like I never could quite live up to the expectations. So everyone was always disappointed in me. And so I took that on, like, well, I'm disappointing. I'm not as good as I could be. Look at all these people. And then I realized that wasn't mine. That was theirs. I wasn't a disappointment. They were disappointed in me. That was their stuff. And so if someone says that they're intimidated by you, say, good for you, and keep going. That'll give them something else to chew on, right? When I was doing a soul retrieval for someone a few years ago, and a dragon showed up as a power animal. And so I'm chatting, I'm in this shamanic journey, I'm chatting with this dragon, and the dragon just out of the blue starts talking to me about how dragons tend to be seen as arrogant and too good for others, and all of that stuff. And this dragon was like, we're not. We realize our value. We realize our worth. And other people, because they don't see their own worth, so we're up here where self-worth is, they're down here where self-worth is, so they project. Say, oh, they're just too good for me, blah, 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 and try to pull them down, but they can't. Because he said, and it's not that they look down on others, they know their own value, they know their own self-worth, and they see the worth and the value of everybody else. But because the others aren't ready to see that yet, there seems to be this disparity between the levels. And so when the other people start comparing themselves, they feel intimidated. They feel like, oh, that stupid dragon thinks he's better than me. It's like, no, it doesn't. You just don't realize your own power. So own that. Majestic dorkiness. Be royal. You are the queen. Even to the crown, right? This crown, like any time an animal has like antenna or antlers or horns, it's like they're like antenna to spirit, right? Coming right out of the crown chakra. Well, here's Moose, who an antenna isn't enough. Moose goes around with a radar dish on his head, right? And so it's like when you're feeling small, when you're feeling impoverished or disempowered, make sure that you open the crown chakra. It's like when you're feeling small, you need to expand. So open that crown chakra and reignite that like there's all kinds of different meditations and such as of visualizing this pillar of light coming down through your crown, down your spine into the earth. It's like that is who you are. So don't sell yourself short. You're a child of God just like everyone else, and like all children, you were meant to shine. You're meant to be fabulous, to be extraordinary, right? Don't hold back. I actually had a past life regression not too long ago, and one of the things that I'm learning in this life carried over from that life was that I was a leader of this group, and someone, it's a long story, but someone was not happy with my leadership because their family got hurt or injured or killed. And so they challenged me. And at the time, they weren't as good of a swordsman as I was. And I didn't want to hurt this person because I knew it wasn't their fault that they felt this way. And so I held back. And so I just, and I could have just gone right in and rather, not killing him or hurting him, but disarmed him. But instead, I just kind of tried to like talk while we're doing this. And because I wasn't at my best, because I wasn't showing up and being present in all my power, he was able to, and it's like he got me. It wasn't initially a mortal blow, but it is what I eventually died from in that lifetime. And so it's kind of this like show up completely, show up in all your power. Don't half-ass things. So there you go. I hope that helps. Exactly. You want to be my Errol Flynn self. Some of you might know which lifetime I am referring to. I tend not to talk about it too much, but in fact, I can feel myself starting to blush now just thinking about it. Like, oh crap, I'm one of those people. So, I was someone famous in a past life. But anyway, coming back to the present. Card number 4 for Joe. All right, let's see if we can get through 3 cards in half the time it took me to get through the last 3 cards. All right. It's so funny you said Errol Flynn. I told my friend the other day, I was talking to a friend the other day, I'm like, yeah, Errol Flynn is my favorite actor. And she was like, wow, that is so random. I'm like, how can you not love Errol Flynn? He's like the best actor ever. All right, Joe, card number 4. You got Elk in reverse. So, really, he's your favorite actor too? You know, we need to sit down sometime and actually take notes and find, like, there are so many weird synchronicities between us. It's uncanny. It's crazy. All right, Joe, so you got Elk in reverse. Again, like I was talking about antlers or antennas. So again, similar, there's a need to, we got to get together, Roulette, you and Joe and me. And I mean, it's weird to, I mean, I know you from doing readings and healings and stuff for you guys and through this, but I don't know a lot about you, but there are so many things. We really need to get together and talk and stuff. Anyway, okay. So Elk is about stamina. So in reverse, Elk can hint at kind of a time of lack of power, lack of motivation. I've got my phone plugged in, but it is not charging. Let's remedy that. Okay. Oh, come on. You can do it. One moment, please. Okay. My phone charger is getting to the point where it's a little sensitive and temperamental. Okay, how are we going to do this? Whoa! Whoa! That was not the way. All right. Hold on a second here. Sorry. Intermission. Okay. And I thought I was doing so good. I didn't fall asleep tonight beforehand, and I started early getting ready for this and making sure everything was set up. All right, let's see here. Sorry about this momentary interruption. Your call is very important to us. The next caller, the next available. Customer service person will be with you in a moment. Okay. I think we got it. Okay, so that part we got. Let's try to I was just going to sit here with holding it so that it charges. All right, so again, Joe. Oh, that's kind of funny, actually. Worrying about my phone charging, and we're talking about lack of stamina. So, it's time to recharge. What I keep seeing you running in circles and not feeling like you're making any progress. So it's like running in circles, just tiring yourself out, and you need to let yourself. This is something that has been becoming more and more clear to me, but it's like rest is an important part of an active life, right? And you can't just keep going and going and going and going and going. You have to sleep. You have to rest. You have to take a break. What was I going to say? So it's like, like ideally, if you could take a few days, like take a couple of days off by yourself, go to like a hotel or a motel or someplace or a campground and just sleep for a couple of days. Just sleep, have a book along or, watch TV or whatever and just keep like, oh, okay, I woke up, I'm going to read a little bit. Oh, okay, I'm going to watch that show. And just, probably better without the TV, etc. But you just need to sleep. You just need to rest. You need to recharge. Because there will come a time, like elk's main defense system is that it can outpace any other creature, any predators. It can run for hours and hours and hours at the same pace without getting tired. But if elk is just running in circles, he's not getting anywhere. And it's like, I've talked about this where, talking about wolves being, the predators usually tend to be sprinters. So they depend on this initial burst of speed and then they're done, right? They don't have stamina. But elk, as long as he can stay out of their claws, out of their teeth, he's home free. If he can keep, just outlast them for that burst, then they can't keep up. And like I've said before, where I was telling a client that, and I'm in my mind watching it unfold on the table in front of me, and all of a sudden it flipped this upward, vertically, and I realized it was about frequency. And so it's like rising above. The wolves can only go this high. And if you can maintain a frequency higher than that, they can't even touch you. But in reverse, it's like you're still down in these vibrations. You're running around in circles around the wolves, and they're getting their claws in. They may not be taking you down completely, but they're tiring you out, and you're spending too much time focusing on the wolves that want to eat you rather than your own freedom, right? Kind of like there's a saying that I love. It's, if you stop to throw rocks at every dog that barks at you, you'll never get where you're going. So prioritize yourself. Prioritize your own well-being. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing or saying. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. Still haven't worked out all the bugs. I have to call my apartment because my kitchen light went out. It was dying for a really long time. Of course, I was too busy to take care of it at the time, and now it's out. And so I've got my little... Oh, it's not that. My laptop died. Okay. New challenge. Dun, da, da. Never know what's going to happen. All right. I thought it was, my laptop was at 90%, so I would have thought it would have lasted long. Well, of course, I'm being really loquacious, so, whoops. Okay, let's do this. Come on, you can do it. Dun, dun. Ba-da, 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 ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba-da, ba-da, ba, ba, ba-da, ba-da, ba. Ba, ba, ba-da, ba-da, bum, ba-da, ba, 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 bum. Bum, 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 ba, ba, bum. Ba, ba-da, ba, ba, bum. I know my dad is around because Ghost Riders in the Sky has played a couple of times today. I apologize for all the little bumps and unprofessional. I get all these other people that do their videos and they edit them and more professional, but I'm just your friendly neighborhood shaman. All right. And I'm just going to have to be okay with you being able to see the top of the curtain. Captain Blood. I love that line. I know I can't remember it, but there's that line about those are the sails that are going to carry us to freedom. I think The Seahawk is my favorite airplane movie. Come on. Cheesy Pete's. All right, okay. Almost there. Almost there. Wait for it. Wait for it. Thank you for your patience. A customer service representative will be with you shortly. What? Oh my God. Come on. Oh my freaking God. Okay, stop. You're welcome, Joe. Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought I had, like, if you were here last week, the same kind of thing happened. I thought I had fixed it, but obviously not. Oh my God. Do. Now it's trying to get me to reset my password. I don't want to do that. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. One. Well, damn it. So atmospheric. I know. Well, okay. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Problem solving at its best. We can do this. There is an answer. There is always a completely harmonious solution. And I can tell how much I've grown because this isn't even freaking me out. It's like, you know, oh, I'm on video. Oh my God, it's got to be perfect. Come on. We're just there. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Come on. Oh my gosh. Fun with shaman. The shaman is one who can see, who sees in the dark, is one of the definitions of a shaman. Oh my God, what the heck is going on here? Ta-da! It's all Joe's fault. Maybe he's the one that's like no stamina. Is draining the power. I'm just kidding. I do not believe that in the least. I did say though you needed rest and like to, you know, gotta, when it's dark out, rest. So now my phone is acting like it doesn't want to stay where it was supposed to be. La la la. Okay. We're going to go with that. All right. All right. So, does that all make sense, Joe? I think I need to go to the next card before anything else happens. But I think you got the point. Yes, you have some shadow work to attend to. And it's time to rest. Thank you guys for your patience. Like, I'm like, part of me is like, I shouldn't post these videos after they're done because people are going to see them like, what kind of clown is this guy? Can't take him seriously, but anyway. All right, card number 5 for Sage. Thank you guys, seriously. This is kind of the way life has been lately, honestly. All right, so card number 5 for Sage. It really is good to have you back, Sage. I miss you when you're not here. All right, card number 5 for Sage. So, Sage, card number 5 is Elk Upright. So for you, what is coming to me is basically keep going. It's like when you see an opening, take it. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Don't get someone else's opinion on whether you should do it or not. When a door opens, go through it. Keep going. And it's so funny. I mean, people talk about it like when you're doing readings for other people, you're actually really doing readings for yourself. And there's so much of what I just said that I need to pay attention to, or some things that I'm going through myself, because it's like with things so shaky right now and things falling away, falling apart, it's like you don't have time to ground. You have to just keep moving. It's like a dance, and you just stop. You're going to get, yes, keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Keep on swimming, swimming, swimming. That's exactly what this is. You've got your momentum going. And part of the lesson here is that you can trust the flow. That's like the turtles, right? That first you're like, whoa, then you're like, whoa, then you're like, whoa. Right? They get in that jet stream and it's just like, shoom, shoom, shoom. And so it's really, seriously going with the flow. And what I'm learning lately for myself is to just, we tend to, at least I tend to want like, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and then I'm going to rest. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about where I'm going to go next. And then I move. And then I rest. And this is like kind of resting on your feet in a way. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, it's like a dance with the universe. Things, everything, all these moving parts, and you have to move and adjust with them. Kind of like in Tai Chi, there's this practice they call, what do they call it? I want to say touch hands. I don't think that's it. Push hands, where you got two Tai Chi people, and they stand with their hands like one's hand is like this, the person over here's hand is like this, and you just start moving, and it's like this push and pull, and you just keep adapting and yielding and pushing, and it's beautiful to watch. And it's really difficult to get into the flow of it because our mind gets in the way and you start to think about, oh, they're going to go this way, so I need to go this way. It's like you can't bring your mind into it. It has to be from the heart. And it's just opening and flowing and trusting that flow. And there's times when you push, there's times when you yield, and that yielding leads to push, and then there's the, it's just, and when done correctly, like a Tai Chi master, there is no way to take them down. Not because they have a counter move to every move that you have, but because it's so zen. It's that whole thing about the pond reflecting the geese flying overhead, but they don't hold on to the image. As soon as the geese are gone, the image is gone. It's like this total reflecting. It's reflecting back whatever that other person is doing, and you just become the mirror image of it, and you move with them. You don't hold on to anything. You just keep moving, and you realize it is a dance. And it's like the whole purpose of a dance is dance. It's to be present in the moment, to move and to sway. The point isn't to get to the end of the dance. Like Alan Watts talks about, if that were the point, it would be this, this all-out chaos as everyone's trying to do their steps as fast as possible to get to the very end of the dance, right? About being in the dance and being in the flow. It's almost, this hadn't occurred to me before, but I'm just kind of going with what's coming through. It's like a dismemberment. Like in shamanism, we talk about dismemberments, where sometimes our guides will take us apart and then put us back together more whole. Like they'll take things out or put things in. But one of the things with the dismemberment is that, like, even when you're in a shamanic journey, you're in trance, you're in the spirit world, you still have some semblance of a physical body, right? There's still something there. And then, like in a dismemberment, that's taken away, but you're still there. And so you're realizing that all these things are still happening, that you're still present, you're still hearing the guidance, you're still seeing things, but there you've got no physical presence. And it's kind of that same thing, like, think about the mind. It's like the mind keeps wanting to get involved, and it's like, it's not necessary. And as you go into this flow, all of a sudden you realize you're just flowing and that you're not having to think about it. What you doing, Missy? Here, Kit Kat. Here. Does that make sense, Sage? It's like, don't react, don't push back. When the world pushes, you yield. And then, Missy, I just put your food on the floor. Her food tastes differently when I have it up here on the table versus when I put it on the floor or someplace else. So, just so you know. So it's that whole dichotomy, rather than fighting and resisting, fighting the good fight, resisting the world and standing up. It's like, it's about entering into the dance, that sacred spiral dance of life, where every moment is perfect. Again, here's our theme coming through. Like, every moment is perfect no matter what's happening. And there's always someplace else to move to. There's flow, there's freedom. That's that freedom of flow. So just keep going. Okay? All right, card number 6. This is a really long one tonight, partially because of the lighting situation. But I need to call my apartment complex tomorrow and get them over here to fix the light, so it's not an issue next time. All right, so Anna, you are card number 6. As Kira just happily eats away at her dinner. Okay, that card wanted to come out. Ha! Card number 6 for Anna is Mountain Lion. Got my own little mountain lion right here. Hi, Kit Kat. Mountain Lion is about leadership. And interesting. This is so, I love how the cards all kind of do push hands. We think of leadership as being the strong man and making the hard decisions and standing up and fighting, and that's not what a leader is. Like, I was just watching, before this, Kamala was on doing an interview with someone, and she made the point that a leader isn't decided by who they beat down, A leader is decided by who they lift up. Vote blue. And that's a leader. A leader doesn't create followers. A leader creates more leaders. Like I was saying earlier, I can't remember which animal it was, but when you give yourself permission to shine, then you give everyone permission to shine. And you inspire others to listen to their hearts, because that's the mark of a leader, is someone who follows their heart. Your heart is your authority. And it means sometimes you might have to scream like a panther, might have to hiss, and alternatively purr, right? And so it's like, it's not letting the world determine who you are and what you do. It's coming from the inside out and creating, like, what was it that Dr. Wayne Dyer said? That that hard times do not create a person, hard times reveal a person. That who you are is waiting to be revealed. And your life will have the right exact circumstances, the right exact people for you to face the challenges that are needed to break out of that cocoon, right? Going back to butterfly and moth. And so it's like, again, there's the dance. It's not a fight. It's not a conflict. It's a dance. And it's about responding rather than reacting. They push and you yield. And then that yield, you hit that thing and that yielding becomes pushing again. And you don't give your ground. You stand your ground, right? Mountain lion is very territorial. And they stand their ground. You don't challenge a cougar to like give up its territory. And so that is, again, thinking about fighting and conflict and, being a spiritual warrior is not about fighting evil like the Avengers or whatever. Being a spiritual warrior is standing in the light and the truth and not giving ground. That's where the strength comes in. Is that standing in the light, refusing to let anything take you out of that light. And so when you're in alignment and you're standing in your power, standing in your light, not allowing anyone, they might push you, and it's like the Tai Chi, you might sway, you might move, but you're still centered, you still have all your faculties, all your power, you're not caught off guard. And I heard somewhere a long time ago, it's been a while, but I think I remember reading about how Kung Fu, what the word Kung Fu means is knowing how to respond. That may or may not be true. It might have been someone else's interpretation or something. But it's like knowing how to respond. It's like being totally fluid. Like they talk, I don't know if you've ever, someone actually did a dissertation on the 2 states of cathood. They can be either solid or liquid. If you've ever seen a cat squeeze itself into like a fish bowl or a vase or something like that, you understand what I'm talking about. But it's that flexibility, that being able to take on the form of whatever container is being like water. And that flexibility is actually the strength. It's like, even in nature, it's not survival of the fittest or survival of the strongest. It's survival of whoever can adapt the best, right? And that's actually where butterflies came from. If I remember correctly, I might be getting it backwards, but I think moths were first. Moths evolved, and they were spreading and evolving, spreading. And in order to stop competing with the others, like in competition for resources, some of them started living in the daytime. And that became the butterfly, so that they could exist simultaneously in the same environment, but they weren't directly competing with each other. So be that Amazon, right? That stand in your power, and and there's that difference between boundaries and walls. Walls break. Walls are solid. It's like, being strong enough to bend, right? Like a tree. Boundaries are flexible. They bend, they flex. Sometimes you let people close. Sometimes they have to stay a mile away. And that all comes from your heart for what is appropriate at any given moment. But stand in that strength. You don't have to have, coming from the heart, you don't have to have preconceived ideas of what it's supposed to look like. You don't have to plan out ahead of time. Okay, well, if they say this, then I'm going to say this. If they say that, I'm going to say that. Or if they do this, then I'm going to do that. It's like, take all of that off of your back and just be present. You know how to respond. Respond from the heart. And if you snap at someone, that's okay. That is the teeth and the hissing, etc., is a communication device to avoid conflict. So if you're showing your teeth, if you're hissing, metaphorically, that's you setting those boundaries. It's like, no, just say no, and you don't owe an explanation. Apex predator. There's no one more powerful than you. There's no one coming for you unless you let them. So stand in your own power and express yourself. Express what you need from one moment or another. And not just in responding to others, but seek out your own territory. Set aside time and space to be by yourself, or to do the things that you want to do, the things that are important for you without interference. So you need that territory of your own, unintruded upon. I couldn't think of what the right word was, but anyway, so stay strong, and strength is flexibility. Whoever adapts the best, whoever is more flexible and can adapt the best, survives the longest. Like the moth overpopulating, so some of them went into the daytime so that they could flourish in even bigger numbers and wider varieties and not directly compete for resources. So they adapted. So be adaptable. And trust that whatever is happening is the right thing that needs to happen at that moment. That you're being guided the whole way. And that whatever is in front of you is the path, and that the universe will use whatever is in front of you to bring you home. Okay? Oofda. All right. So, for the few of you who have persisted and persevered all the way to the end with me, I thank you for your patience. I thank you for your tolerance. I thank you for sticking with me through the blackout and everything else wonky that happened. You're welcome. Oh, and you're welcome, Sage. You're welcome, Anna. I hope that fits and resonates. I'll pull one more card for the community. This is the one that the animal that will, it's kind of like our community totem for the week. The animal that is walking with us all, that holding us together. And as I'm shuffling, I want to remind you again that please share my video, tag people, or share it to your own page or whatever. I'm going to be flexible and vulnerable and say, go ahead and share it, even though this is probably not my best evening with all the technical problems and mishaps, but there you go. And also, if you got something from tonight and you would like to reciprocate, give something back, I have my PayPal and Venmo links pinned to the top of the comments. And whatever you wish to give is awesome, and I am beyond grateful for anything you give. To support my life, to support my work, so that I can better focus on the things and the experiences I need to have in order to better help you find your way. So, anything else? I think that is it for now. Again, there are so many moving parts in my life right now. But watch my Facebook page. I'm planning on coming up in the next month at some point doing starting a class or some classes, probably online, since I don't really have a good classroom space at the moment. But that's part of that expanding, right? So I'm adapting. Anyway, and once we're done here, I will share this video to my Facebook page. I will also upload it to my, I have a Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So check that out, subscribe, and please like my videos. That helps me get up higher in the algorithm so that other people can find me. And it's a win-win situation. And of course, I am your friendly neighborhood shaman. I am here to help you in whatever way I can to find your own heart path, your own unique way home. And so you can find me at perchingwolfstudios.net. You can learn more about me, what I do, the different shamanic services I offer, healings and readings and teachings. I do personal mentoring. Like I said, I've got a few lessons, classes coming up, and you can sign up for a session with me right from my website. So check that out, and let's pull a card. Haha. Very timely. So the card is salmon, but it's in reverse. And the salmon are running right now. I love when it's spawning season. In reverse, again, the whole idea of conflict and resistance, fighting the good fight, right? We have this puritanical view of salmon that it fights the current all the way home because it's got to get home to spawn and to, fulfill its purpose. But salmon follow, there's places in the river where the water is calmer or the water actually flows backwards and there's whirlpools and ebbs, and those are the paths that salmon follows. So the message is to trust your own vision of your own path. Don't let anyone convince you that their way is the best way. To them, it's going to look like you're going backwards. Like, where the hell are they going? But you are following your own path. You have eyes to see things that other people don't. And salmon carry such enthusiasm. I was at the river one time. I was sitting on this rock at the very edge of the river. There was a big old salmon, maybe 10 feet away from me. And as soon as I sat down, it came over and it just kind of hung out under the rock that I was sitting on. So I'm talking to it, and it's like its enthusiasm was palpable. I could feel it. It was so excited to be going home. It was so excited to go see all his friends, and it's just, he couldn't wait to get back into the river. He was kind of resting on the side. And so trust your vision, trust spirit to carry you, right? When salmon is leaping up the falls, they're not just going their own strength and energy. There are whirlpools at the base of all waterfalls. And so they hit those, and they use the whirlpool like a springboard, and they spring up. And so it's like spirit is always there to help boost you. It will carry you where it will. It's kind of like that Christian thing with the footsteps in the sand, right? But it's like spirit is there to carry you when you're following your own path, when you're following your passions and your bliss. Spirit will carry you, and it will feel effortless. So believe in yourselves, believe in your purpose, believe in your vision, and follow your bliss. It will always lead you home. It will always, always lead you home. And don't listen to the opinions of others. Don't compare yourself to others. Know that you are always in the right place at the right time. Okay? Oofda. All right. So that is it for tonight. Really long night. Thank you so much for those of you who stuck through this whole thing. I hope to see you again next week. Invite your friends, share this video, and until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining. All right, bye.